To enjoy the Bible, really enjoy the Bible, you have to use a concordance. Guess what? The Bible was written in 3 languages. And even when the Bible was written in Hebrew alone, the Old Testament, you had different connotations of the same concepts. So let me give you an example. This is the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Now, when you talk about love, for example, there are 4 types of love. I'm sure you guys know that. You know that there's agape, the God kind of love. You know that there's phileo, friendship love. You know that there's storge, the love between family members. And you know there's eros, erotic love. Good. But that's just love. When you go deeper, you will see that even when you are talking about wisdom, for example, wisdom is one of my favorite topics in the Bible. I mean, Proverbs is one of my favorite books. I memorized the entire book of Proverbs by the grace of God. So I had to study wisdom in depth. I discovered that there are so many types of wisdom in the Bible. The only way I could have known that is because I used a concordance. Now let me show you. When the Bible says in Proverbs 13:22, hi there, once upon a time in my life, I was addicted to football. I was able to break my football addiction. Then I was addicted to carbonated soft drinks. I was able to break that addiction to carbonated soft drinks. And then I was able to start new patterns in my life, consistent patterns like learning voraciously, memorizing. I eventually memorized 10 books of the Bible, over 10 books of the Bible by the grace of God. I am facilitating a training where I want to show you how to break free from negative patterns, limiting habits, overcome limiting beliefs, start new habits, build it, and then build a life that you desire, create a life that you desire, and build good positive patterns. I'm also facilitating a training on how individuals become institutions, where I show you how individuals built institutions and how they were able to use harsh economic climates and recessions to their advantage. It's a training for anybody that wants to excel in any area of your life. Right now, you can see the flyers and the QR code on your screen. I look forward to seeing you there. God bless you. Do have an amazing day, and back to the video. That he that walks with wise men will become wise. That wisdom is hakmah, is one of the types of wisdom. But there is a higher level of wisdom. When the Bible says in Proverbs 17:2 that a wise servant will have rule over his son that causes shame and will have part of the inheritance among the brethren, that is not hakmah now. That's now sekel. It's a different type of wisdom. And guess what? What to do to get hakmah is not the same as what to do to get sekel. So to get sekel, you have to really be careful with your words. If you are somebody who is too talkative, you can't operate in sekel. But I would never have known without a concordance. You need a concordance. You really need a concordance. You know, when the Bible says that David behaved himself wisely in the house of Saul, David behaved himself wisely. Sekel is the wisdom for emotional intelligence and relational wisdom. David behaved himself wisely in the house of Saul. That's not hakmah, that's sekel. You need a concordance for that. You just really need a concordance. Then guess what? As you go deeper in the Bible, you see that there's another higher dimension of wisdom that is tabun. When the Bible says that he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 29. But that passage carries the master key to dealing with anger. That is that passage. But guess what? That wisdom or that understanding is not hakmah, is not sekel, is tabun. And what to do to get tabun is not the same as sekel. For sekel, okay, you talk less, you pray, good. For tabun, you have to begin to thirst for wisdom and knowledge to the point that your soul becomes joyful and glad after it. You seek it as silver and you search for hearts for hidden treasures, like in Proverbs chapter 2 as it says. That's when you now find tabun. That's why you need a concordance. You are not going to grow as a Christian with just a normal Bible. You need all these additional aids. You need a concordance. For example, there's Rema and there's Logos, whether we like it or not. But that's where concordance comes in to see, okay, what kind of faith is the Bible talking about? What dimension of the word is the Bible talking about? You understand? Sometimes the Bible will talk about patience and it's hypermenio. Sometimes the Bible will talk about patience and it's macrostomos. So the Bible is talking about patience in the New Testament too, in Greek. Sometimes it's rendered as hypomenio. Hypomenio means staying under. Macrostomos means macro is major, where you get the word macro, and then tumos means hot. That is, even when things are hot, you are still there, you are still enduring. So there are 2 dimensions of patience. But guess what? When you use an English Bible alone, you will see it as patience. You will know that there's a difference. That's why you need a concordance. And I want to just enjoin you to invest in a concordance. You see, when you start, it might appear difficult. Oh, I have to start reading Hebrew and the Greek. But guess what? Just continue. After a while, you will love it. Every habit is sour at the start, messy at the middle, but easy at the end. God bless you. Do have an amazing day. And bye for now.